The book of Genesis in context. This is the first book that you see when you open up the Bible, and it was written by Moses at around the 1440s to 1400s BC. And here we see the story of creation all the way up until when the Israelites were in Egypt. And in between those stories, we hear about Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, the Tower of Babel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Esau, and all these incredible foundational members of the faith that you and I have today. This is the origin story. This is the beginning. This is the foundation of our faith. And quite clearly, Abraham is seen as the foundation of our faith. And in this story, we want to look into the context of why this book was written. Moses wrote this book after Israel had been freed from slavery in Egypt. And as they're wandering around the desert in the land of Canaan, imagine putting yourself in that position that the only thing that you know how to do is make pyramids, make bricks, and you're just wandering around the desert, following this pillar of fire by night and a cloud by day. And you're wondering, who am I? I was a slave, but what am I now? So Moses finally writes down the stories that have been passed down from generation through generation, which was passed down through oral tradition, and he's actually writing it down to finally explain to the people of Israel who they are, where they're from, who God is. And they hear about how God's called them, God showed them favor, God showed them mercy, and they've actually kind of are reminded of, hang on a minute, we're not just slaves. We were once slaves, but now we're actually children of God. We're actually warriors. We're actually part of this incredible story that God has written through these oral traditions that were passed down from generation to generation. And so when they hear about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Joseph, and all his brothers, you're thinking, oh my gosh, like that's where I'm from? That's who I am? That's so cool. So my encouragement to you is that when you read Genesis, don't just read it for the story, but put yourself in the position that you were once a slave. I was once a slave. But when you read Genesis and Exodus, you will start to see that this is our origin story as a Christian. This is our faith as a Christian. This is our foundation as a Christian. And when you read it, you'll see the incredible stories that God has created so that you and I can have freedom today. There's so many parallels in which we can see and feel that Jesus has already been called even from the beginning of time. So Genesis is the start, the beginning of our faith. So when you read it, be encouraged, be blessed, and I pray that God will reveal himself through you, and that the Holy Spirit is going to show you that there's so many things in these stories that really bring us together in our faith. And so my encouragement to every Christian out there, read Genesis so that you can see the foundation of what you and I believe in as brothers and sisters of the faith. To God be glory in all things, through all things, grace and peace.